And so, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Saturday morning new distributor training for what is this, May 19th. Good to have all of you. I see the room starting to fill up. Welcome. Oh, my goodness, I got Mr. Reed Nelson with me, the legend, the one of the people that I admire the most about being part of Zija, because Reed and Yvonne, they're involved in our business not because they need the money. They got involved because they needed a home for their people. Let's go ahead and we'll get started here. Welcome to all of you. Saturday morning new distributor training is something we do on a weekly basis. You might have already guessed it's on Saturday. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija International. My privilege to be able to be the trainer this morning. And what we're going to do is a couple of things this morning. I'm going to be relatively brief in my comments, because what I'd like to do is, have enough time to be able to do some questions and answers, because there's a lot of things that are happening within Zija right now. But first, I want to recognize those of you that maybe you're pretty new to Zija. Maybe this is your first time you found the Saturday morning training online. Certainly welcome to you. Welcome to those of you that maybe this is your first time. We always tend to have, a couple of people that are maybe not yet involved with the company, but kind of checking us out, seeing, what do we have to offer. And so warm welcome to you as well. Now, want to make real clear here, today, I'm not trying to say that today is going to be the end-all on what you need to know to be a success in our profession in network marketing. There's a lot out there that's available to you. In particular, to those of you that maybe aren't necessarily part of my organization or one of the leaders that is part of this team, I want to encourage you, plug into the people that you're going to be working directly with. Most of our higher income earning, higher level distributors have resources available to you. I know, for instance, Pat Anderson, one of our most successful distributors in the company, and she is on a roll. She's, without question, she's got the fastest growing organization in Zija today. She has a tremendous number of resources available. Go to her team website. It's clubmoringa.com, clubmoringa.com. David Moses. David Moses is our top income earner. David produces a lot of information for the organization. You can, access a lot of his stuff at davidmoses.com and also on Facebook. I have a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. If you go to that channel, you're going to find a lot of resources there. I archive the trainings and presentations and that sort of thing that I'm directly involved in. Now, I bring up that YouTube channel for a reason. What I did, this is probably close to a year ago. I went and I produced a few little short videos. One of them is called New Distributor Training. And I encourage you to go to the YouTube channel. Again, it's www.youtube.com/Fred Holmes Zija. And you'll see on there's a link that says playlists. Well, there's only one playlist. And you will see on that playlist there are 4 videos. The first one is called New Distributor Training. And I really encourage you, especially if you're new to the profession, you're just getting started with Zija, maybe you've been involved in network marketing in the past, but maybe you've never really had the level of success that you were looking for. I encourage you to take in that particular training. It's 30 minutes long. What that is the essence of our profession, what I was introduced to over 30 years ago, and I want to kind of sell you on taking the 30 minutes to watch that video. That information allowed me to go from being a cross-country truck driver. That's what I was doing for a living at the time. I ran 18-wheelers cross-country. I left that profession to get involved in network marketing, and 10 years later, I retired. Now, I want you to think about this. Most people spend, 40 or 50 years of their life working to then retire. I spent 10 years in this profession and I retired easily 20 plus years earlier than the average fellow would consider retiring. I was already done. All right. Had already done the deal. 10 years. And everything that I've done in that 10 years was based upon the very first, Saturday morning fast start training that I received in my first company I think it's 32 or 33 years ago now. And so I encourage you to watch that 30-minute video. Now there's 3 more little videos that are part of the new distributor training playlist. And those 3 little videos are what I call the fast start training. How to develop a prospect list, how to build your fast start story, okay, the 90-day game plan. See, in our profession, what really matters is results. And those 3 little videos will help you in that process, either as a brand new person getting off to a fast start, being able to develop your own story, or for those of you maybe that have been around for a while and really are starting to recognize, wow, Zija's on a roll. Something's about to happen with Zija. And, for those of you that maybe have been around for a while and really never had that opportunity to get off to fast start, those 3 little videos are about 10 minutes each. Take an hour, spend some time. All I can tell you is that if you implement the things that I share there, it's going to put you in a position of much greater power than the average person that tries to get involved in network marketing. Now, Saturday morning trainings, I try to use this time frame to delve into more depth in certain areas, to focus on what's currently happening, direction, and that sort of thing for the organization as we're moving into Zija 2.0. Today, I wanted to talk about, let me just double check here, this little chat window. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Mary. All right, very good. Good to see all of you. And man, I'll tell you what, the room sure did fill up really quick here. I want to talk about a couple of things, and this really has to do with the timing that we have right now today. Today is Saturday. It's the last cycle of period 127. And there's been a lot of things that we've been doing over the last several weeks that have been leading up to where we are this moment. And I encourage you, if you haven't done this before, if you weren't part of this original broadcast, go to my YouTube channel, go to look for the team meeting on updates on Zija 2.0 that we got from Cincinnati. This is the date of that broadcast was April 24th. April 24th. A couple of days earlier, myself, Pat Anderson, I think there's probably about a dozen of us, field leaders, flew into Cincinnati. It was kind of a last minute thing, flew into Cincinnati to meet with Ryan Palmer. Ryan Palmer is the president of the company. And that meeting was to hammer out the details of what was going to happen over the next several months leading up to October 5, which is the Zija convention. This year it'll be in Orlando, Florida, and that would be the launch of Zija 2.0. Now, what's all that mean? That means that we had an opportunity to contribute to formulate, to put together the game plan with corporate on what was going to happen, the rollout of various segments of Zija 2.0. Now, there's a lot I can't tell you about. Okay, I mean, some of you may remember, they actually had us sign, Ryan passed out non-disclosure agreements, we couldn't say what we heard in the meeting. And, some people were questioning, well, why would you do that? Well, quite frankly, there's a lot of people that don't understand how important it is to bring things in order as opposed to throw everything out there. There's a process that needs to be in place. Pat Anderson was one of the people that was part of that, 12, leaders that met with Ryan Palmer. And in so much, as I said in that little video, and I encourage you to go back to that video, go check that out, because I laid out specific things that you're going to want to be aware of during certain time frames. And what I said then, I'll tell you again. While I can't tell you what is going to happen, I was, I'm signing non-disclosure. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to get, into trouble. But I can tell you what to do to be prepared for that. Now, over the last several weeks, we have been focused as an organization and as individuals on the utilization of the GQ bonus promotion that was extended through the end of this period. We have 1 week left. Now, the GQ bonus promotion it's a promotion that's designed to reward correct activities. And this is something that's incredibly important to understand, is that there is a compounding effect to what it is that we do. Now, if you listen to my new distributor training, the archived training, the original 30-minute training that I mentioned earlier, you will learn that there is only a couple of things we do, right? We share the product, we share our income opportunity, and we teach others to do the same. That's it. Those are the correct activities that you want to engage in. What's interesting is that, unlike what most people believe this is a business of getting lucky, maybe finding a Fred Holmes or a Pat Anderson, or maybe, finding a Reed Nelson or a Patton Mac, a Pat Terry and Mac McDonald. If you're fortunate enough to find something like that, you can be successful. Well, folks, that's not the story. Does it help to find a superstar like that? Yes. The problem is, I never found one. Okay. I developed my Zija business through people like me, people that came to the opportunity with the critical core ingredients for success. Now, hopefully somebody's going, Fred, I got my pen handy. What are the critical 3 ingredients for success? Number 1, willingness to work. You got to be willing to do the deal. Okay, good work ethics, willing to learn. You got to be coachable. It's kind of an interesting business. If you do correct activities, if it works. If you don't, it doesn't. It's just kind of one of those things. Be willing to be coachable, learn the system. Number 3, have a burning desire to succeed. This is not easy money. It's not something that is impossible to do. There are so many people that have built incredibly successful businesses. They've done it on a part-time basis without destroying their life. Okay, that's my Zija story. When I started in Zija, it's always been a part-time business. I was in retirement, had been for a number of years. 10 years ago was time to move home and take care of my mom. And so I've always done this business part-time from home, work around mom's schedule. I just, 5 minutes here, 20 minutes there, half hour here, an hour there. I work it around my life. Now, if you have good work ethics, you're coachable, you have a desire to succeed, that's the most important of the 3. That burning desire to succeed, why you need to be successful. If it's important enough, it'll keep you in long enough, because this is where I was going with this. There's a compounding effect. What we do today, today's activity, share the product, share the opportunity, teach somebody else to do the same. The results we get from those activities don't always show up today. This is one of the hardest things for people to understand in our profession, because most people work for a living. Okay, it's kind of common knowledge. 95% of the world works for the 5% of the world that hires them. Okay, and that was me. Half of my life I had a job. Well, actually, I'm getting pretty old now. Almost half of my life I had a job. And people show up for work a day, expect to get paid for the day. You put in a few hours, you expect to get a few hours worth of pay. in business owners, the 5%, if you will, they get this. They get Zija. This is why, you know, you want to be focused on people that are already self-employed, because they're going to get it faster than the average person. Because in the real world, to invest, you know, to get a business going, you invest, you know, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars. You invest to get your business up and running. Then you have to invest hundreds of hours and thousands of hours over a prolonged period of time. And if you're successful, here's what success is. You may get that money that you invested into your business. You may get a return on that investment, be able to get that money back, say, within 10 years. Invest $1 million in a business, you may be able to get that money back in 10 years. And then at that point in time, so long as you're willing to work your business, you know, 50, 60, 80, 100 hours a week, you'll continue to make profit. That's real business. In a network marketing business, a very modest investment, I mean, literally a few $100s, put it on a credit card, you can start creating income out of the gate. You can get into profitability typically in a few weeks, you know, a month, 2 months, 3 months. You can be profitable in your business. And our type of business, specifically Zija International, has a residual income component where you can get paid over and over and over and over for work you did last week, last month, last year. That's the beauty of our business model. The downside is people expect oftentimes that they will get in and they will be an overnight success, making money out of the gate. Now, I'm not saying that doesn't happen. We've got a couple of people just recently, I just heard one of our people out of Florida just hit Emerald. Well, they've only been in, I mean, a handful of weeks. Another one of them hit I think it was Platinum. She's only been in a few weeks. Here's what the problem is, okay? We tend to celebrate extraordinary success in our profession, and we don't really make it clear that somebody who has that level of extraordinary success in very short time frame has already done something that has prepared them for it. Most of us, people like myself, when I left truck driving, it took a few years for me to become, you know, really good at this, find the right company, and get it rolling. Okay, first 2 years in network marketing were a real struggle for me. Okay, it took time to learn how to do this as a profession. I actually had to switch companies. After 2 years, I went to another company. First company was a great company, just had terrible timing. Second company wasn't necessarily the greatest company in the world, but they had great timing. And I knew what to do. And it still took a couple of years to get that one up and running. But if you're willing to take the time, guess what happens? You can change your life in a very short period of time. This is why it's so important to understand what to do today, because Zija's at that point in time. I mean, we're literally just a few months away from the launch of what will be one of the most explosive growth curves in the network marketing history of any company. And so the concept of a compounding effect, what you do today, you may not see the results of the day. It may be tomorrow, maybe next week. What you've done this week, you may not see the results of this week. It may be next month, you know, 3 months, 6 months down the road. But here's what you can be guaranteed you'll see is the activities that you engage in on a daily basis will compound over time. How we build our business is a great illustration of this. If you enroll 2 people this month, and you then help them enroll 2 people next month, and then you take those 2 people and help them enroll 2 people the following month. If you do it one more time, you get into that 4th level. Here's what's interesting, is on that 4th month, you will literally do more volume than you did in the first 3 months combined. But you will never have that 4th month if you didn't focus on the activities that helped you enroll 2 people this month And then the activities, well, how do we do that? We share the product, share the opportunity. Take those 2 people, help them enroll their first 2 people next month. And I'm just using, really long time frames. You could do that on a weekly basis. You could do that on a daily basis. But the compounding effect is it's inevitable. It's like gravity. It's a constant. Okay. Now, I don't understand how it works. I've never been one of those guys that, well, tell me how it works. I don't care how it works. It works. That's what I know. It works. And if I know it works, then I just want to go do the deal. So there's 1 week left in this cycle, or this period of 127. 1 week left. This is cycle 4. We have been working, for those of you that have been focused on the principle of the GQ get qualified bonus, get in and get 2 people so you can be qualified for commissions. That's it. Get 2. And then helping your new people get 2. For those of you that have been doing that, well, a couple things have happened. You've been making some money. The GQ bonus, I got it right up here. You help enroll 2 people that just start with, basic, like the NHR personal pack, basic weight loss management package. You're going to make a $50 GQ bonus for getting 2 people in the same week. If you help them get started with, the family pack, the enhanced pack, you make a $100 GQ bonus. You can do that as many times as you want. For those of you that have already been in that process, you are in very good shape because you were able to take advantage of the last 3 weeks. We got 1 more week of period 127. I can't tell you what's going to happen. What I can tell you is what to do in advance. There will be an announcement a week from today by corporate, and it may actually be, on the following Tuesday during the Zija Nation call, but there will be an announcement for period 128 that is going to serve you well in terms of your personal income, in terms of creating volume through your organization. It's going to create rapid rank advancements. And the way to take advantage of that announcement, like I said, I can't tell you what's going to happen, but I can tell you what to do. If you've been focused on the GQ bonus program, keep doing the deal. Keep doing the same thing. If you've been, asleep at the wheel, if you haven't been focused on that, start now. Don't be that person that says, oh man, I wish I would have started back then. Don't wish it. You should have done it. Don't worry about that. Start today. Start today. Create your daily method of operation. Okay. One of the most important things, people always wonder, how do you create incredible success? I've been very successful in this industry. I'm not going to say I haven't. I'm not going to say I'm some dumb bunny that fell out of a truck 30 years ago and jumped up off the ground and dusted myself off in a designer suit. That didn't happen. It took time. It took time for me to personally learn the skills, for me to personally develop beyond where I was. It took time to create the momentum. But here's what's really interesting, is it is inevitable if you follow the simple system. And so what I want you to focus on, if you haven't been doing it, I want you to start today. Focus on the elements, the application of the Get Qualified bonus, the GQ bonus. If you're not familiar with it, you can pull down the document out of your back office in the document library. It's imperative that you start. If you haven't been doing it, start now. You have 1 week left to a major announcement from the company. Now, that announcement from the company will set up the following 60 days, or in our case, the following 56 days, the following 2 periods. Okay, we've got period 128, period 129. You're going to have almost 60 days to engage in those activities that create results leading up to period 130. Now, period 130, I described it as Zija 1.5, leading up to Zija 2.0. In just 2 periods from now, we're going to be implementing some of the most significant components of Zija 2.0. There are going to be people who are going to wait for a couple of months. They're going to see what happens, you know, in July. Let's just see what's going to happen. Well, that's great. You can go ahead and do that, but you will miss out because you will not have developed momentum in your business to take advantage of that. Now, I'm going to do one more thing here, and then I'm going to open up if we have questions, see what I can do to support your efforts. This is the mindset. Okay, if you want to be successful in rapid recruitment, rapid team building, building in depth, rapid rank advancement, this is your mindset. You have to understand, if you will, who I was 30 plus years ago. Okay, understand who it is that we're looking to speak to. Okay, and this is what got me. 30 plus years ago, I was introduced to a company, and they had okay products. I'm not going to say they were anything like our products. On a scale of 1 to 10, if Zija's products are a 10, that company's products were a 1 or a 2. Okay, but at the time, they were considered pretty good. What I saw when I was introduced to that program, that system, in my mind, this is what I said. This looks pretty simple. Okay, it looks pretty simple. And if you think about it, this is what I was looking at. I saw a company had good products, what I thought were good products at the time. I thought, well, I'd probably use some of those products, and and I'll bet you some of my friends would want to use some of these products, and then I could sell them to my friends. I could make some money, and I'll bet you some of my friends would be like me. They'd want to make some money, and so they might get in, join my team, and then they could make some money selling to their friends, and some of their friends might want to make some money. I mean, it just seemed, it was like, I got it, what's not to get, right? Everybody's going to buy something. And so how it was presented to me, and interestingly enough, the presentation for my very first entrance into multi-level was done by a $1 million earner. Now, what impressed me wasn't so much that he was a $1 million earner, but the presentation, what I walked away with, and you should really write this in your notes, okay? 3 things. It looked simple. It looked like it would work. And here's the key. I thought I could do it. I was told if I talk to some people, some of them will buy my product. If I talk to some people, some of them will join my business. If I talk to more people, I'd have more customers and more distributors. And if I talk to a lot, I could get rich. Looks simple, looks like it'll work, and I think I can do it. And I got to tell you, I was about to say, as I go around the Zija community, now I don't leave the house. Some of you know, I care for my elderly mother. We've got some real significant issues now. I actually have to pay people to be in the house so I can leave the house. So I don't really get out much. I do 99% of my business is done right here, on a Zoom meeting or on the phone or what have you. The fact is that as I, speak with people around the organization, I start to realize some of the information, some of the ways you're introducing people or explaining this is not simple at all. It's incredibly complicated. And when you have an environment where your prospect is going, well, this looks pretty complicated, not really sure how it works, and I'm pretty sure I can't do it, you're not going to get very good results. What you want is an environment where your prospect's going, this looks simple, looks like it'll work, I think I can do it. And the corollary to that, and this is probably a good self-analysis, this should be fun, simple, magical. It's fun, it's simple, and it works like magic. It's fun, it's simple, it works like magic. These were the phrases that were given to me over 30 years ago. And I'm not saying I've been the best at it all the time. I mean, I'm just like everybody else, you know. Once I get a little bit of knowledge, I started to tell everybody everything I knew, and I just complicated the matter up. But if you can keep this simple, help your new person, whether it's the prospective customer or the prospective distributor, look at this and go, well, this looks pretty fun, looks pretty simple, and guess what? It works like magic. Looks simple, looks like it'll work, and I think I can do it. If you can bring in your presentation to meet those criteria, then there's only one other thing you need to do to be prepared for what's going to happen on October 5th. Your daily method of operation, DMO. Are you talking to people about the product? Are you talking to people about the opportunity? And are you teaching others to do the same? That's all that matters. If you look at the most successful people in our profession, and certainly within Zija International, they're not the product experts. They're not the MLM experts. As a matter of fact, what's stunning about Zija is how many people have been so successful that have never been in network marketing, but they've followed a simple system. And the key has always been monitor your numbers. If you spoke to somebody today about the product and you spoke to one person about the opportunity, you're doing the correct activities. When you get somebody in, add one more step to that. Teach somebody else how to do the same. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Take advantage of the tools that are out there. I don't do any training with a new person anymore. Okay, I send them to my YouTube channel. Watch the videos. Now that you understand what we do, let's go to work and let's help you get your first 2 people. That's where I'm the most valuable, is not the training, but helping the new person get their first 2 people. What's interesting is the compounding effect. It's the safety in numbers. If you're doing that, if you talk to just one person a day about the opportunity, one person a day about the product, you do that over the next 90 days, it is inevitable that you will have some customers, and it's inevitable that you will have some distributors. It is not possible not to have that happen. So anyway, that's what I have for you today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to check here for a couple of comments. Let's see. Hi, Fred. Fred, I got my pen handy, and I'm coachable. All right, Lauren, you're the best. Let's see. So grateful for you. Ellen, thank you. Eileen, thank you. Thanks for sharing it, Fred. Easy to get caught up in the success stories. Laura Lee, again, I want to tell you, it is a challenge, especially for a new person, to hear about these overnight success stories. It's like anything else. You see somebody, break out in the sports field. Wow, they're just a breakout athlete. There's years and years and years of training that led up to that event. Okay, we've seen people come into our business, and it's just like, they can recruit, 100 people. Well, folks, that's because for years they developed a relationship with business-minded people so that when the time came, they had the resources. Let me tell you what most people's stories like. My story. I was not an overnight success in network marketing. I wasn't an overnight success in Zija. But where I hang my hat, if you will, is an understanding that what I do today, I may see results of next week or next month. What I do this week, I may see next week, next month, 6 months. And my superpower is the ability to every single day get up, do the deal, set my goals, accomplish them, knowing full well that the people that I talk to today, I may not have them as a customer or a distributor for a day, a week, a month, or a year. But knowing that a year from now, I won't have anything had I not spent the previous 365 days of consistently doing the deal. So invite, present, validate, keep it simple, right on the money. All right, folks, there is a little chat box somewhere. It's that looks like that little bubble on your on your app there, like the little cartoon bubble. If you have a question or a comment, something you'd like me to maybe speak to or help with, I'd be happy to do so. This time is yours. I'm going to look through the list here. Oh, man, I've been talking and haven't had a chance to, well, I was going to say have my Zija. This is the third one today. I start pretty early. If you can't tell, I start pretty early in the morning, and so it's not unusual. I busted my new Zija bottle, the new slim green trim one, and so I had to like go back to my old school Zija thing, and it leaks a little bit. But all right, questions. Go ahead, and good to see you, Michael. Shannon, good to see you. And let's see here. And oh, David, good to see you, buddy. All right, so many of you recognize, some of you I don't. Okay, got somebody coming in here. Michael, always good to see you, buddy. Any questions? Any comments? Let me, if you do have, just type it in the little box. I'll do the best I can to respond. This is the last week of this period, and folks, this week is no different than any other week. Okay, what we have is an environment where it's easier as human beings to break things into little chunks. Okay, so how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? And so it's just kind of in the nature of our compensation plan. We work on a 7-day cycle, call it a week. A 7-day cycle starts Saturday morning, ends Friday night. Now, that cycle becomes one of 4 cycles in a period. And we therefore have 13 pay periods within a calendar year. And it's a lot easier, instead of trying to figure out, try to do a year's game plan. I was taught very early on, instead of trying to develop a business over a year, focus on smaller segments of time to make it a little bit easier for us to see results. It's tough to consider, working every single day for a year. Okay. We know that if we can break it down and have smaller increments, it's a little bit easier for us as human beings to focus on. And so what I was taught many years ago, this is back in the days of, calendar months, 90-day game plan. First quarter of the year, January 1 through March 31st, second quarter of the year, third quarter of the year, and so on. That's always the way I've worked my business. We have within those, if you will, 3 periods, we have individual periods, and then within each period, 4 cycles or 4 weeks. The way to create true momentum in your business is to work on a daily basis, evaluate your numbers, look at accomplishments for the week, focus on a 4-week period of time. Now we've got cumulative effect, and then 3 of those periods at a time. And ultimately, that's how I built my business. When I jumped into Zija my very first year, I did a 90-day game plan. My 90-day game plan was to get into profitability and create some momentum. Parlayed that into the second 90 days, and then into the third 90 days, and then in the final 90 days. And because I did a 1-day game plan times 90 and did that 4 times in a row, I ended up my first year without looking so far into the future, more looking at what I was going to do today, what I was going to accomplish this week, what I was going to accomplish this month. I was able to build significant momentum in my business. Now, I didn't make a ton of money the first year, but because I was consistent for those first 9 months, the last quarter of the year ended up being, equal to the first half the first year's income happened in the last 90 days. That's the compounding effect. That's kind of what I was talking about a little bit earlier. If you enroll 2 people today, next month you help them enroll 2, and the next month you help those people enroll 2. If you get in that 4th level, in the in the 4th month, you do more volume that 4th month than the first 3 combined. That's what happened. Same thing happened the second year. And what's very interesting is, while that second year was spectacular, in Zija. My second year in Zija took me to a 6-figure income. Half of the first year of the second year's income came in the last 90 days. But what was really interesting is over a 2-year period of time, that created so much momentum. Walked into year 3, just kept doing the same thing. Share the product, share the opportunity, teach people to do the same. That third year ended up being more than double the first 2 years combined. That's the concept of the compounding effect, okay? And if you're, the only way that you get those kinds of results is, what did you do today? Did you share the product today with somebody? Did you share the opportunity today with somebody? And once you get a few people in, did you teach them to do the same? Keep it simple, keep it duplicatable. Let's see. Okay, let's go here. Got good questions. All right. See, I knew if I just kept talking long enough, I'd get some good questions. Thanks for the info. When you're talking to your friends, what do you say to ask for a follow-up call after sharing the products or video? Okay. Let's see, that's from, I believe it's Eileen. I don't ask for a follow-up call. I set it up, okay? You know, if you're talking to somebody about the product, that's actually, to me, that's more easy, okay? Find out what they need, okay? Somebody's interested in losing weight, somebody's interested in going to the gym, you know, somebody, you know, has been told they're going to be put on, you know, diabetes medication, whatever. I've got something that that can help with that. Would you be interested in hearing about it? Yes. That's the invitation. Presentation, you know, maybe show them a Moringa video. Okay, maybe show you know, show them a testimonial video from Facebook. Put them on one of Dr. Plant's little videos. Get somebody else's story. But honestly, if you're using the product, you can recommend that to your friend, to somebody that you already have some relationship with, who already values your opinion, you know, knows you to be a person of integrity. This is pretty simple. Why don't you use it for a month? You know, worst thing that's going to happen is you won't like it and you'll get your money back. That's the worst thing that can happen. What's the best thing that can happen? You could feel better. You could lose weight. You could, doctor might not have to put you on that medication. Got nothing to lose, everything to gain. Let's just do this. Now, from the prospecting of, you know, potential business candidates, this is a little bit different. I might, you know, do an invitation. You know, Bob, got something going here. We're thinking about you and Mary. You're concerned about retirement income. A lot of people are creating, you know, retirement income, but they're not taking 30 years to do it. Is that something you'd be interested in? I want somebody to say, yes, please tell me about it. You know, I might give them a, you know, send them a little video, put them on a presentation, send them to, you know, my YouTube channel, see one of the, you know, take a look at one of, you know, I'll tell you, I spoke with Kathy Lanier on Thursday night. That's archived. Kathy's a very successful businesswoman that understands the value of leveraged residual income. In her business, she got no leverage because she has to run the business. You know, if she decides to take a year off, business goes away. You know, she's got no residual because if she decides to take a year off, there's no money coming in. Her customers pay her for what she brings to the table. So that's a great way. Mike Crane, another successful business person, he did a presentation on the Biz Talk show. I'm going to guess 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. All that's on my YouTube channel. So, but here's what I do. If somebody says, yeah, I'd like to learn about that, let me get you a little bit of information. Only going to take you a few minutes to take a look at it. And then I want you to meet the person I'm working with. They know much more than I, and they're very successful. Okay? When will you have 15 minutes to look at that video? I set up the follow-up call in advance. Okay? I want them to know that it's not a two-step system. Most people think this is a two-step system. You invite them to look, and they look at the information and make a decision. It's not a two-step system. It's a 3-step system. You invite them to take a look, you do the presentation, give them something to look at, and then introduce them to somebody else. The validation component is the process. You know, we talk about, you know, you've heard peak, pass, plug. I use invitation, presentation, validation. Same thing. I just use words that make sense to me. Most people think that three-step system is leading up to, you know, it's the invitation. I want to know how to do the invitation. I want to know what tools to use. You ask the right question, which is how do you get to the final step, the validation? Because honestly, that's all there is. Nothing really starts happening in the recruiting process till you got that your new person meets somebody else who's had results. Can't be you. If you're new, your results are not going to get them to want to join. All they're going to want to say is, well, tell me how you're doing. If you do well, I might be interested. If you're doing really well, you got to have somebody else's results, because you have to avoid the mindset of, well, yeah, you're doing really well, but you know, you got in a long time ago, or I could never be like you. I couldn't do what you do. When I did my initial recruiting blast, I didn't rely on me at all. Okay, I put my upline on the phone. You know, my upline was David Moses. That kind of helps. But the point being is that whether or not I was successful could not be the issue. It had to be somebody else. If I'm the only person that can do this, then what makes them think they can? Okay, so the answer to the question is set up the see if I can get this box open a little bit bigger. Here we go. Set up the follow-up call at the time you present the tool that you want them. That would be what that's what I do. Okay, I set it up in advance so they understand that's what we are going to do. And then shout back to me if I need to clarify that a little bit more. Let's see. Should I use upline to discuss enrollment, etc., when I have a prospect who wants to order product? Let's see. He tried a box of Supermex, likes it, and I'll enroll him on AutoShip. I did follow up call after 4 days of use. He's warm market. Okay. The question is, should I always use the upline for follow up? For customers, I don't think so. You know, it depends. All right, if you've got somebody that maybe has some product questions or concerns, you might get more leverage having a third party, the expert, share information. That might be what it takes. Okay, here's the problem. You know, it could be good and it could be bad. You know, your friends know you. You know, if you're not the person that's always been the, you know, the healthiest eater, no knowledge about nutritional supplementation or whatever, they may need to hear from somebody that is perceived to be more experienced. Now, that doesn't mean that you got to find a doctor for them to talk to. Your upline or your upline's upline or your upline's upline, you know, somebody's been on the product for 6 months. They can speak to the product. They can talk about their results. That might be of value. You know, honestly, a lot of times I like talking with my brand new person's first or second customer, just so they can get the experience of getting somebody to buy the product. After that, I mean, that's kind of easy peasy stuff. You can, if you desire, if you feel like you need to. There's nothing wrong with that. Customers are a little bit different than distributors, which brings up another point. I always, you know, I was about to say discriminate. I always differentiate between whether or not I'm talking to somebody about my product or I'm talking to somebody about my opportunity, because it's two different tacks. Okay, if I'm talking to somebody about my product, I'm going to talk about product. I'm going to talk about the results that I've had. I'm going to use my story. I'm going to use the stories of others. That's third-party validation. Even if I don't have that story, somebody else has that story, and I can share their story. Understand it's results that get people to buy our products. It's results that get people to get involved in our business. Why would you buy our product if it did nothing for you? It's the stories that create the desire to buy our product. You know, why would you join our business if you didn't make any money? Okay, you can do any, I mean, you can go garden and not make any money and probably enjoy the gardening more, right? I like gardening. Now, it's the results. testimonials. That's what gets people to buy our product. That's what gets people to join our business. If you feel that you need some help to get your prospect to commit to buying the product for a month, then get the help. But you're going to find pretty quickly that once you've got a few customers, you're not going to need that. You're going to be using the stories. When it comes to getting a new person involved in the business, if you feel you need the help, then do it. I encourage that. Oftentimes a brand new distributor has a challenge talking to their neighbor, their best friend, their buddy from work about joining the business with a gold or a diamond pack. Okay, I understand that. But if you think about it, if you knew, then what you know now, would you have started with more product? Would you have leveraged with your initial order the ability to make more team commissions for 3 months or 6 months? If you knew about it, you would have. Okay, in that case, especially if you're relatively new, get one of your upline to talk about the enrollment process, how they could get started, what are the advantages of the different packages. I do that pretty often, because it's easy for me to say, well, there's 4 basic starting places. You can start with our top position is diamond. That's where I started. You get a wide range selection of product, get ample product for sampling out. That's our business. You get a big advantage in that you make 50% more team commissions for 6 months if you start there. Second package is the gold package. It's a really good package. It's half the price, half the product. You still get a good selection of product. You get products for your own personal, use, so you can speak about your results on product, and you also get the increased team commissions. 50% more team commission for 3 months. Then we have the enhanced package. I call it the family pack. It's a great way for you to get yourself and the family on the product, get a little bit sample out to a couple of friends. The personal system, that's actually not for building a business. That's not really a distributor pack. That's for you. You get on the product, receive the benefits and that sort of thing. You pick whichever one feels good to you. If you pick the one you want and let's go get you started. It's more important you get started than where you start, and that's it. That's done. I'm not going to pressure somebody to buy more product than they need, but I am going to lay out to them the advantages of all the packs, and I tend to start at the diamond pack and go down instead of working the other way up. That's just how I do it. But again, it's probably easier for me to share that with your prospect if you're pretty new. You may be uncomfortable with that, but after a while, honestly, today, if you think about it, I'm going to use, I use David Moses as much as I can, but he's got a lot of people. I'll use one of my downline. I'll put a Pat Anderson, Amy McKenzie on for my third-party validation, but I don't use somebody else to talk about the enrollment process. I can do that now because I'm more comfortable with it. That's really more of a comfort issue. I hope that helped. Let's see here, and shout back to me if I need more clarification, Fred. Yes, I think he's keen on continuing on the product use based on seeing our personal results on his own. Yeah, and folks, never, ever, ever underestimate the value of a customer. Okay, too often people, for whatever reason, I know what the reason is. They want to build a business. They want to have a bunch of distributors out there sharing the product and that sort of thing. Some of our companies, top income earning distributors, either started as customers, or even though they started in the business, they didn't get serious on fire about the business until the product results came in. Never, ever underestimate the value of a customer. Okay, customers, if you do this right, and I did a training on this, one of the Saturday morning previous trainings, I talked about good customer follow-up, customer retention, how to get referrals. If you do the deal, I talk about what I was taught back in the very first company. Day 1, day 3, follow-up. Day 1, follow-up day 3, day 7, day 14, day 21. Get them locked into the product. Make sure they're ready for their auto ship. If you show your customer you care more about their results on the product than you care about the money you're making. They're going to be happy to give you referrals because they know you're going to take care of their friends in the same fashion that you took care of them. If you sell them the product and wait 4 weeks and call them back up and go, hey, did you like the product? You want to buy more? Don't be surprised if they're not willing to give you their contacts, their friends' names, and numbers, because they're going to figure that how you followed up on them is how you're going to follow up on their friends. What's also interesting is that when people get results on the product, not only are they way more likely to give you 2 or 3 or 4 more names. Now that's how you can start to create more customers. You'd be surprised how many of them are thinking, well, rather, can I make money from selling this to my friends, right? And sometimes I even offer that, I go, hey, thank you for those 4 names. I'm going to really help your friends do well, help Bob out, and, old guy in the gym, I'll show him how I'm doing what I'm doing, and, help Mary Lou lose some weight. But I don't know if you thought about this. You might want to consider joining the company as a distributor, and maybe you could make the money. And all of a sudden, lights go on. Never, ever underestimate the value of a customer. All right, so anything else? I think we're good for now. All right, folks, I'm right at the top of the hour. It's my allotted time. Thank you for joining today. I hope this has been helpful. Definitely go back to the YouTube channel, review a couple of those training videos that I talked about. One more week, folks. Wrap up this week strong. If you haven't been engaged in the GQ bonus, do not mistake what I'm going to tell you. You need to be involved in that process. Everything that's going to roll out over the next several months is going to hinge on the concept of get to. So get used to using the GQ bonus. All right, I'll have this posted on the YouTube channel. If you had team members that weren't able to get here this morning live, we'll have it on there for them later today. And thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you Monday evening. David Moses, Module 7 of his 8-week Millionaires in Training Zija University. So 9:30 Eastern, Facebook at David Moses OTW. OTW for One Team Worldwide. David Moses OTW. Wednesday, Pat Anderson, Health Talks with Pat. Access that on her website, clubmoringa.com. That's also 9:30 Eastern. Thursday night, Biz Talks with Fred. This same link. And then Saturday morning training. Okay, also next Saturday, we'll be doing, right after Saturday morning training, we'll do the first Saturday of the period team meeting. I'll jump on, we'll spend a few minutes, we'll go over highlights and information from the Diamond Club meeting, and rinse and repeat, we'll do it again. All right, take care now, have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.